Hi. I am here today to say something that I think has been a long time in coming. Too long. First John chapter 3, verse 11. For this is the message that you heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. This is to the elders of the Gathering of Christ Church, Elder Rakashia and Elder Loya, and also the membership of this church at large, or the people in this church. I want to say a public thank you for not calling the white man the devil in this church, for being willing to stand again and again in the face of all the other Israelite groups who teach from Scripture, apparently, but incorrectly, that the white man is the devil, and for not backing down under their criticism. And I want to say this because I'm sure you have probably received some criticism from some confused Black Israelites who think that they need to correct you in this area. And you haven't bowed to that correcting attitude that they probably have taken towards you. So thank you. I appreciate that, especially because, number one, I have learned that you used to teach this, and through the Most High's power and will, He led you to recognize that it wasn't scriptural. So that probably took some fortitude on your part to change that viewpoint that you used to have into one that is more closely conformed to Scripture. So thank you for that. And I also noticed that it's not as though you have some big white constituency of people in your flock that you're trying to please. It's not as though there are very many white people in your church who are trying to, who you're trying to tickle their ears and make sure that they don't run off to the old Christian churches that they used to be a part of. That's not the case, because this is, by and large, mostly Judah and Benjamin at this point in time in the Gathering of Christ Church. And you know what? Yet you say these things anyway, because you believe it is completely conforming to Scripture, because you know that's what matters most of all. I want to thank you for fostering in this flock a welcoming attitude towards me, even though I'm a so-called white lady. And I also want to say that if a Black Israelite ever approaches me, and this is always done online, okay, so it's not as though I feel any sense of danger. The words may sting, but, you know, it's just online, so I know it's not a real dangerous situation. But if a Black Israelite ever approaches me in an attacking way, the whole world knows, everybody knows, that they didn't learn that from you. And so I pretty much know at that point, well, they're really not a part of this church, because that's not what this church teaches. I want to thank you for pointing out to your mostly Black flock that they have a lot more in common with the typical so-called white person than they do with the Jewish people who are actually running everything that's wrong with this world. Yes, I would like to repeat that. That the Jewish people are actually the ones running everything that's wrong in this world. And I would like to repeat what I want to say in gratitude. Again, thank you for pointing out to your mostly Judah and Benjamin, maybe also some Levi, flock, that they have a lot more in common with the typical white person than they do with the Jewish people who are actually running everything that's wrong in this world. So thank you for that. That statement alone is unusually bold in the present day world of Black Israelites. I want to thank you for setting an example, for loving and working alongside so-called whites for the rest of the flock to learn from. As a result of this, I have been able to connect with other members of this church because really the main focus is not on race and skin color. The main focus is on digging into the truth of the scriptures in this church. And that is what matters most to me, most of all, more than anything else. So I am presently at a time in my life when if I need someone to pray for me about something, if I wish to chit-chat with one of the girls about girl stuff, or if I want to just talk about the scriptures and the seriousness of following the Most High's laws, the person I call is far more likely to be a person from the tribe of Judah than any other type of person in this earth. And that's just fine with me. This is simply because they're my church, and I know they accept me. Even though we're spread out, the fact that the word of the Most High is the most important thing, that is bringing us together. And you recognize that, and you teach that, and I'm grateful for that. Shalom. The final scripture I want to read. 1 John chapter 3, verse 18. My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. Shalom.